My name is Jonathan Parks, and welcome to Jonathan's Nature Crafts. I must inform you that I do not live in this house by myself, but live here with other people. Sometimes other members of the household may have to walk through areas where I might be recording with other family members on the phone. If you hear any noise like that, please feel free to disregard. We are doing our best to get noise canceling equipment, which may at least keep you from hearing exactly what is being said. Thank you for considering. You all can come to see that as I begin to record this little video, you may even note that there's been some ones that, like I'm currently uploading the last video I recorded where I played the hymns on the guitar last night, and I'll say that that might have been a little something I did to try to do a little something different for a while. I'd say things have kind of been a little bit out of the ordinary lately. I kind of went to a restaurant to eat Friday night, and just kind of happened that the server I was expecting to see wasn't there. She kind of, just had another family event to attend, and, something a little tragic happened there with an employee, and called the paramedics and got that taken care of, so it's all good now. And we'll just kind of say yesterday I went out to McConnell Springs hoping to attend my Woodcarvers Guild meeting, but they didn't have it. There was a May the 4th celebration there with Star Wars. It was a Star Wars day out there and a Star Wars event, so that was kind of just what they ended up having and how things turned out a bit there. But I say that, as you can see with this little African mahogany Santa, we had already kind of chipped the corners around the little hem of the garment. Think I might kind of take care of that same little step now with these other ones here, and I don't know how many steps we're going to have time to do in this video, but that's the one at this moment we'll take care of. I'd say before we do the complete rounding off, we might kind of do a little bit more extra work and try to take things a little bit to another little further level. I say that sometimes just to kind of get a little subscribers does good. I just kind of took care of that one with the little one that was from African mahogany, but I've got some here that are from genuine mahogany. And from what I also kind of learned on Etsy, it's like they had it kind of listed as Honduran mahogany when I purchased it, because that could just as well have been what it was. And I mean, I tell you, I kind of like working with most kinds of wood, and these mahoganies and walnuts might be kind of among some of my favorites because walnut is very pretty, and I mean, even different types of mahogany are as well. But I'd say even though I can carve some things from basswood too, it's fairly easy to carve, and it's most carvers' favorite. But I think basswood is something which to me doesn't really have that much grain, and it has to be painted. And I'll show you all something I just finished carving out of that. Was this little Cocker Spaniel that a young lady ordered who I met at one of my shows, and kind of looked it up on Google to see where I painted it. Most of it is just the bare basswood, but for some parts I've kind of put in the little spots with a little brown acrylic paint. So that's how I've worked along that. I'd say we're going to have a little chipping off and rounding to do for the rest of this little corners of this walnut Santa here. And I say that there are times in my life when at night I have these strange dreams that kind of take place out on the interstates and stuff, because it can be kind of strange what kind of time of night I could be driving in my dreams, and I'd say I didn't really do that when I was younger anyway, but I heard my parents say when they were a lot younger they loved traveling at night, but they kind of got a little bit tired of it as they grew a little older. I think I'm going to come now to the point where I'm going to kind of remove some of this wood from around the front of the head in close proximity to where I will make the face. And so I say with this little kind of work, I'll tell you all that it's just kind of working a little ways up, and I say that we're going to kind of take this little thing and make it so we're going to see a little rising Santa star and sun of all things. And I tell y'all that for a little work like this, I tell y'all that we're just kind of working ways in to make a little thing or two where we're going to see a little brighter light come in. I decide for this moment that I might just kind of take this little shaving of the wood and make it so we have a good St. Niklaas carving. I mean, I wish sometimes I could probably keep these scraps just as low as the pan, but even the pan just doesn't catch all of them. I mean, and I'd say as fast as I carve and as aggressively as I carve, it's hard to keep it all together. But even if the pan is right below me, I tell you, I can probably at least pick up most of these chips and throw them right in, or even if I have to get up and dust them off, maybe be able to stand right over the pan with it in the floor and do it. So I'd tell y'all that this is just my kind of work and my kind of feeling, and I'd tell y'all that this is just kind of just little scraps of work that come along our way, make it so we just see how good a little St. Nicholas statue can come out. We don't know what we're going to put in these as time moves on, but I say it might even be good just to kind of put little, like we say, little branches in them of this little artificial tree that was trash that I picked up from off the side of the road. There's not much wood I collect from off the side of the road anymore because my shop is getting so full of so much wood that I can't use, and so we're kind of just doing things a little bit as best we can, a little at a time. And I tell y'all that there's just some things where some work just kind of gets in the way, makes little messes of things, and probably would say I've got some fir and some magnolia left in my shop because I always thought that was good for making Christmas things out of, but when it comes down to it, you know, some of the things I make out of some of that stuff, people don't really recognize it. I've tried to make little heads of reindeer and people think they're for slingshots, and they don't really recognize the work for what it is. And I even had to discount them all and put them all down to a cheap price just to get them all sold and not make any more. And with those little things, I sort of told people this would probably be their only chance in a lifetime to buy one because those were, you know, no longer going to be made after that. And I say this time around, come back to the back of the head and make how we do, kind of like the little hood thing. We don't really chip off the top of the back of the head since we do need to know exactly where the hood is going to be once we kind of really get down to it. So that's just one of the little steps we take here. Nice, easy, slow little step, I say. And oh, I tell y'all that there just comes a time when we're going to carve a lot and make a lot of good dough. And I tell y'all that for all the events we have to come up in life, it'll kind of take us a little ways to do, ways to go. I wouldn't know how poisonous any kind of mahogany is. African mahogany is not even real mahogany. It just kind of gets its name because it has kind of a similar texture, you know, and it's kind of like how there's a certain type of wood that is called pink ivory, which it's not actually ivory, it's actually wood, but it kind of has a pink color and it has an ivory texture. So that is where it gets its name from, but it is very rare and it is very expensive. I used to kind of buy a lot of it just to kind of work with and make little presents out of. Those were kind of the days of my life when, you know, it was like I was still young and full of pleasure, and just, even though it's probably something I could still afford to do now, it's kind of become something I just do much less because these days, you know, it's all just coming down to business and the fact that I kind of run booths and things like that. So it just really comes down to the fact that I kind of have to make enough stuff to be able to pay off the vendor fees and make a little more money in addition. And for those of you who know I'm special needs and live in my parents' basement and what they're providing and what the government's providing, you also probably know that they're not going to be alive forever. And at some point in life, you know, there comes a time I kind of have to learn to take care of myself. I probably learned it a little late in life, but it's just something that I start trying to kind of learn how to do day by day, little by little, just the best I can, because it's going to be one of those things where responsibilities will increase a little more as you kind of get a little older in life. And I'll tell y'all that there's probably going to be a step here I'm going to take where I might go ahead and probably see if I could find a little pencil here with which to draw in a line. But here on the back, there's a certain thing you do. You kind of make it so there's a line here and a line here and a line here. And this, as I can tell you all, it makes the back of the belt, which is what we're going to carve out here in the back of St. Nicholas to put the little belt thing in and just kind of carve it out here in the little body section. I tell y'all that there just comes a work that costs us a lot of time and money to do, and I say, pretty people just find ways to kind of work a little extra in life, make a little more dough here and there. I tell y'all that this little bit of time and effort in our lives, we gain so much independence from what we do. And then again, you know, it's like sometimes you'll find out in life that, you know, you have those who in your life, they did so much for you all the time, and how much, you know, you find out in life as you grow older, you're going to have to start kind of taking care of yourself in many ways, you know. Sometimes as a kid, I sometimes hated to kind of pick up my own trash, but these days, you know, you kind of learn that you grow older and nobody makes you do it, nobody does it for you, and That's why right now in my bedroom there's a lot of trash, and currently I'm just picking it up little by little, day by day, just to kind of get it thrown out, hopefully get the space cleaned up. And just wanted to say that this is just how it goes these days, hoping to kind of do away with these scraps as well. But for all the time you all come on, I appreciate who you are, what you do, what you're doing to make this channel better, what you're doing to reach out and share. And even for those of you who have shared my Facebook posts, appreciate that so much, and all the ways you all have reached out and done so much, and appreciate all you all do. Thank you very much. Keep in touch always, and God bless. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you in the next video. Stay tuned.